Hi everyone. I am very happy to welcome you all to Dr. JJ's Virtual Academy of Commerce. In this video, I am going to explain the calculation of turnover or activity ratios using a practical problem. These are all a few details related to me. Ganesh Brothers sells goods on cash and credit terms and also purchased goods on cash and credit terms. So they do both sales and purchase on cash and credit as well. The following particulars are obtained from their books. Total sales 5 lakh rupees, cash sales 40,000, sales returns 20,000, debtors at the end 80,000, bills receivable at the end 20,000, reserve for doubtful debts 1,000, total purchases 3 lakh rupees, cash purchases 50,000 rupees, purchase returns 10,000 rupees, creditors at the end 60,000 rupees, bills payable at the end 20,000 rupees, reserve for discount on creditors 2,000 rupees, opening stock 50,000 rupees, closing stock 40,000 rupees, gross profit 1 lakh rupees, fixed assets 10 lakh rupees. Calculate activity ratios which could otherwise be named as turnover ratios. To calculate the activity ratios or turnover ratios, we can simply ignore these two items which have been highlighted here. What are all those two items? Reserve for doubtful debts and reserve for discount on creditors. The rest of the items could be made use for calculating the turnover ratios. The first ratio to be calculated here is stock turnover ratio. What is the formula for calculating stock turnover ratio? Cost of sales divided by average stock. The answer will be in terms of times. What is the formula for calculating cost of sales? Sales minus gross profit. Sales they refer here is net sales. To calculate net sales, you first deduct sales returns from total sales. Sales minus sales returns will give us net sales. It comes to 4,80,000 rupees. So net sales 4,80,000 minus gross profit 1 lakh rupees which is given in the problem, it gives us 3,80,000 rupees of cost of sales. Now let us calculate average stock. What is the formula for calculating average stock? Opening stock plus closing stock divided by 2. See, this is the formula. 50,000 rupees opening stock plus closing stock 40,000 rupees divided by 2, it gives us 45,000 rupees of average stock. Let us apply them in the formula. Stock turnover ratio is equal to cost of goods sold 3,80,000 divided by average stock 45,000 is equal to 8.44 times. Suppose in the problem you are given with only the closing stock. The opening stock is not given in the problem. So what would you do? You simply consider closing stock as the denominator in the formula. You don't worry about the calculation of average stock in such a situation. Now let's calculate the next ratio of activity. Fixed assets turnover ratio. What is the formula? Cost of sales divided by fixed assets or sales divided by fixed assets. Don't worry about the second formula. In the absence of cost of sales in a problem, you can very well make use of the second one. Otherwise, straightly go to make use of the first formula to calculate the fixed assets turnover ratio. Cost of sales that we have already calculated, it is amounted 3,80,000 rupees. Divided by fixed assets that's given in the problem, it is amounted 10 lakh rupees. So 3,80,000 rupees divided by 10 lakh rupees, it is given as 0.38 times. That's what about the fixed assets turnover ratio. The second one you don't have to worry here in this problem. The third ratio to be computed is debtors turnover ratio. What is the formula? Credit sales, make sure you consider only credit sales here, divided by average accounts receivable. Credit sales, how to calculate credit sales? Sales minus sales returns, you get net sales. From net sales, you subtract cash sales, you will come to know the credit sales. That's the right way to do. Here what they have done, total sales minus cash sales minus sales returns. I suggest you to do what? Total sales minus sales return will give you net sales. From net sales, you subtract the cash sales so that you will get the same answer 4,40,000 rupees as net credit sales. That's the right method. Okay, accounts receivable means what? It is a total of debtors plus bills receivable. But what is the formula says? It is average accounts receivable. Therefore, you need to add the opening accounts receivable with closing accounts receivable. Divide the total of the 2 by 2. You will get average accounts receivable. But in this problem, you don't find the opening accounts receivable. Perhaps you are given with only the closing debtor and closing bills receivable. Therefore, you can change the formula according to the convenience here. So, what is the formula for this problem? Credit sales divided by closing accounts receivable. So, it comes to what? The closing accounts receivable is nothing but 1 lakh rupees. Closing debtor 80,000 plus closing bills receivable 20,000. It gives us 1 lakh rupees of closing accounts receivable. Now, debtors turnover ratio. 4,40,000 rupees, which is nothing but credit sales, divided by the closing accounts receivable 1 lakh, it has given us 4.4 times. How to calculate debtors collection period? Months in a year divided by debtors turnover ratio. Months, 12 months in a year divided by debtors turnover ratio that we calculated as 4.4. So the answer is what? 2.73 months. If you want to calculate the same in terms of days, days in the year 365 divided by debtors turnover ratio 4.4, it will give us 83 days of debtors collection period. The same could be computed using other formula. 365 days divided by net credit sales into closing accounts receivable. That means 365 divided by 4,40,000 into 1 lakh will give you the same 83 days. What is the meaning of this? 83 days of sales is yet to be collected from the debtors. That's what the meaning. Then the next ratio to be computed here is accounts payable turnover ratio. Credit purchases divided by average accounts payable. If you are unable to calculate average accounts payable, you can very well make use of the closing accounts payable with the given information. How to calculate credit purchases? Purchases minus purchase returns will give you net purchases. From that you subtract cash purchases. It will give you the credit purchases. In this problem it is amounted 2,40,000 rupees. Now what is accounts payable? Creditors plus bills payable will give you accounts payable. The real aspect to be used here as a denominator in the formula is average accounts payable. But if you look at the problem, you are given with only the creditors at the end and bills payable at the end. Nowhere you find the opening creditors and opening bills payable. Therefore, you can customize the formula according to the requirement. So in this problem, what is it we do? The net credit purchases divided by closing accounts payable, it gives us 3 times. That is what the answer for accounts payable ratio. If you want to calculate it in days, what is the formula? Accounts payable period or debt payment period is equal to months in a year divided by accounts payable turnover. 12 divided by 3, it gives us 4 months. That means 4 months of purchase is yet to be paid to the creditors. That's the meaning. The same could be computed in terms of days also. Days in a year divided by accounts payable turnover. 365 divided by 3, it gives us 122 days. The same could be computed using another formula. What is that? Days in a year 365 divided by net credit purchases. That's nothing but 2,40,000 into 80,000 rupees in this problem as closing accounts payable. It will give you the same 122 days. What is a note? Reserve for doubtful debts and reserve for discount on creditors are not relevant for any activity ratio. Therefore, they should be ignored. This is what I explained before I started explaining the solution. I hope you have understood my explanation with regard to the calculation of turnover ratios or activity ratios. Thanks for watching this video. I'll meet you in another video. Bye for now, everyone.